this, I think, is the big story of the day. Does Labour want digital ID cards because they want total state control over your lives? Here is what Sir Keir Starmer said on the steps at Downing Street just after he won the general election.
You have given us a clear mandate, and we will use it to deliver change, to restore service and respect to politics, end the era of noisy performance, tread more lightly on your lives, and unite our country.
Tread more lightly on your lives, he said there. That was remarkable, wasn't it? Tread more lightly on your lives. Well, here he is today.
I'm announcing this government will make a new free-of-charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that. Because decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people, they want us to tackle the issues that they see around them.
It's just the sound of Keir Starmer treading lightly on our lives there, isn't it? We already have a national insurance number. You need that in order to get a job. Illegal migrants, are they going to be turned back in the channel because they don't have a digital ID? No. Albanian drug lords, are they going to make their dealers show them a brick card? I don't think so. That dodgy local car wash, is it going to make those Iraqi blokes who don't speak English show them their papers? No, it's not at all. I want to ask you all a question, though. Do you trust Sir Keir Starmer? No. OK. I mean, he couldn't even tell you the truth about bus fares, could he? He tweeted about putting working people first with Labour's £3 bus fare cap. Then it turned out his government had raised the bus fare cap from £2 to £3, which he doesn't seem to mention. Under his government, we've got stuff like this.
Something that we believe you've written on Facebook has upset someone.
You're here because somebody got upset. Is it against the law? Am I being arrested?
You're not being arrested.
Then what are you doing here?
My plan was, if you were admitting that it was you who wrote the comment, you could just make an apology to the person.
I'm not apologising to anybody, I can tell you that.
The alternative would be that I have to call you in for an interview. I'm here to talk to you about the allegation. They've reported it to the police.
So what?
Obviously, we get a lot of reports like that.
Are there no houses that have been burgled recently?
That's just yet another example of the police knocking on someone's door for social media posts. In this case, at least, no further action was taken, but she was scared senseless, bless her. We've also got this new Online Safety Act that censors news and articles and social media posts. So when he says that digital IDs won't impact on your life, do you believe him? No. There's already talk by some in the transport industry, get this, of you needing a digital ID to get a train in future. Starmer says that digital IDs are all for your own good. Let's have a look at what happened during COVID, all right? You weren't allowed to sit down in a park. You couldn't drink alcohol at a pub, but you could if you ordered a Scotch egg. Do you remember that? Oh, it's remarkable, wasn't it? Choirs had to wear face masks. No dancing at weddings. So Sir Keir Starmer, he wanted all this stuff. He wanted harder, faster, tougher lockdowns, and now he's telling you that digital IDs, oh, it's all fine. Labour have used Estonia as an example for digital IDs working well. Let's have a listen to this.
Lots of other countries use government digital ID. Australia or Denmark or Estonia, other places in Europe, as it means that we can hone in on those dodgy employers employing people illegally much more effectively. So that for the rest of us that get up every morning and go to work legally, we know that we're all doing the right thing and the system works well.
Yeah, load of rubbish, because Estonia's digital ID scheme was hacked. There you are. 280,000 people's personal records were stolen. India's digital ID scheme was hacked. 815 million people had their personal information leaked online. Also, there is strong evidence that 34 million Indonesian passport-related documents were also leaked and put up for sale. I mean, I could go on. This was not in Labour's manifesto, so nobody voted for this. What is the mandate for it? If you're still on the fence about it, and maybe some of you are, if you're still on the fence about it, just have a think about whose idea this was. It was Tony Blair. Yeah, there you go. Mr. Iraq War, you know? Yeah, Mr. Deals with the IRA. Fantastic. Do you trust Tony Blair? Anyone? No, right, OK. Sir Keir Starmer was against people having to show IDs in order to vote at the general election. He did not want IDs to vote at the election. He thought it was un-British. And now he's in favour of this. They've lost control of who is in the country, and now we all have to suffer. People who say this will be fine, it won't morph into something else. Let me just give you a quick example. Income tax was brought in temporarily in 1799 to help fund the Napoleonic War. It's still here today, isn't it? So this isn't going anywhere, and it paved the way for loads more taxes. Digital IDs, I think, are sinister. The last thing I want is to give Sir Keir Starmer's government any more control whatsoever. Let's get the views of the panel. Let's get the views of the audience. Chap on the front row straight away. Strong contender for further travelled, having come from Cornwall, by the way. What would you like to say on digital IDs, mate?
Good evening, panel. Good evening, Patrick. Well done to you and Emily.
Oh,
congratulations.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
I'm 40 years old now, and all through my life I've had several jobs, and every job that I've had to prove my right to work in the UK. I've had to prove who I am, and that's not just with work, but in many professional departments. Even with the NHS, you know, you have to go and prove who you are to sign up with a doctor's surgery, for example, and so on. So what's the point, really? I mean, immigration... immigrants can get a job, they go through the back door, they can work for Deliveroo, Just Eat. How's this going to stop that from happening? What's the point of digital IDs?
I don't think. Lady, your views?
I mean, it's not border control, it's people control. The government just wants all your information. They want to track what you do, how you spend it, and everything you do. And it's a massive mission creep. Like we said, there is absolutely no mandate for this. The way you stop illegal migration is you remove we unsign ourselves from the ECHR and we deport and detain. And the fact that my liberties have to be removed or curtailed because of illegal migrants. So I'm paying for their failure. So because he can't control illegal migration, he now is going to track legal migrants for life. I'm sorry, that's a no.
Russell and then Suzanne on this, what would you say to that? I mean, because there's some people say, the slippery slope argument, it's a really weak argument, but I don't...
Because we often see that slippery slope and we often end up at the bottom of that slippery slope, unfortunately. So look, this is command and control by stealth. Let's be clear, there's already legislation that prosecutes employers if they employ someone unlawfully and illegally. I think the fines are many, many thousands of pounds. The notion that this is going to stop people working in the black economy, I mean, that is just absolutely nonsense. What this is, and as you've said, Tony Blair, who's looking more and more like a Harry Potter villain, actually, as everything goes on.
He needs a white cat or something, doesn't he?
Yeah, just has long kind of Voldemort hair. He's been trying to introduce this to Britain for command and control purposes, in my view, for many, many years. This is about, actually, I think, not just tracking. This will control your bank account, your health records, your travel, your access to things, for instance, concerts or whatever. I think what this is a precursor to a thing called social credits. Yeah. If you misbehave, particularly on social media, you won't just be prosecuted like you are now. You'll also be prevented from living a full and prosperous life. This is communism, ladies and gentlemen. This is communism through the back door, plain and simple.
It's weapons of mass destruction of our freedom, to quote Tony Blair. And I don't think we should take it lightly.
Well, did you hear what Darren Jones said today? He let me quote him. He actually called this the bedrock of the modern state. That sounds really scary.
It's deeply sinister. I agree with everything that Russell has said. You know, this is not about immigration, absolutely not, and it's not about work. It's also not an employer's job to police our borders. It's the government's job to police our borders. So stop trying to put the blame on employers. As Russell said, this is about power. It's about government power and control, the right to switch off your life. Look back, we were laughing about COVID and the Scotch egg, but that's a serious point here. They loved that power. They discovered they had the power to tell us to stand on a yellow dot in a supermarket. Yeah. You know, something that pathetic. And yet a lot of people went along with it. And the idea of giving the government that sort of power through the system, Russell's also right, the Chinese-style social credit system, they can switch off your life with this. You go to the wrong kind of protest, you say the wrong kind of thing on Twitter, that's it. You could potentially lose your right to freedom of movement, to your benefits, the right to travel, to access public services. And if you think this is all very far-fetched, just look at what they did to the truckers in Canada who protested against COVID vaccine mandates, they close their bank accounts.
But Susan,
we need to have Nigel on this. Go on, Nigel. Go on, Nigel.
First of all, I'm against mandatory digital ID. However, it rather depends how it works. All the various sort of scare tactics you've put out there, we don't know. We don't know exactly what it's going to be, exactly how it's going to work.
That's how they work, and that's how they work, Nigel.
You can tell me how it works, but we don't actually know. We don't know until we see it.
You know,
so you have ID because you want something. So you have a driving licence because you want to drive. You have a passport. You want to go abroad.
Exactly. Why do we need an ID?
So what am I going to get with this?
If you want to work and this is a more convenient way of doing it, I don't mind a right to work card as long as it's restricted to that. And by the way, Patrick, you had to go at Online Safety Act.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't just do what you described it does. It does protect children against...
No, it doesn't.
Well, it does. It protects children against suicide sites, self-harm sites, and extreme pornography. You also had to go at Tony Blair, and the fact he talked to the IRA means we have peace in Northern Ireland and the mainland's not being bombed.
Nigel, do you think ID cards will stop illegal immigration?
No, I don't.
Do you think it solves for anything?
What?
A digital ID.
I think
what does it solve for?
I think it might work for visa overstayers.
Why?
But
how?
Simply because they're the most likely to end up using it.
So
the only advantage of it over a national insurance number is it'll carry a picture.
So why should I have to be forced to have a digital
I agree with you.
for visa overstayers?
I agree with you. I'm against the idea of mandatory cards to walk around your own country.
Let me just go to... There's a gentleman sitting towards the back who's now standing up. He's got a microphone. Sir, what would you like to say, sir, on this?
But you could.
Go on, good.
Always has to punish the majority or law-abiding. And for the fact that the minority are breaking the law. I just don't understand that logic. And the other point is, this government is very good at using the words free. It might be free that I'm not paying for it, but I'm paying for it through taxes.
Absolutely, of course.
So I have no idea what these words free. And when the government comes in and says, oh, we are giving away 50 billion quid for this. Well, we are paying for it. So I don't know how the government is so generous constantly while the taxpayer is paying for everything.
They're generous with your money, aren't they?
No,
they're very generous. I'd like to be generous with your money as well, but I don't think you give it to me. Just on what that chap said there. Yeah, again, is this the sense that we all, I imagine most of us are law-abiding, I would have thought, certainly here legally anyway, we're all paying the price now, but it's not going to make a blind bit of difference. The lads on the boats, they're not suddenly going to go, oh, sorry, I haven't got a brick card.
Look, they chucked their ID overboard. I mean, for goodness sake, it's not going to make a blind bit of difference. And it's absolutely spot on. It's the majority, law-abiding majority, who are being asked to pay to deal with an illegal minority. But that's not really what it's about anyway. Absolutely not. And it's about command and control of your life and the government keeping tabs on what you're doing so it can come along, not with its light touch, but with its jack.
But it'll be hacked. It'll be hacked.
And why wasn't it in the manifesto if you thought it was such a good idea?
Well, so
why is he slipping it through the back door? We've just had an election just over a year ago. He could have put that in the manifesto. That is something that the British public need to vote on.
The NHS has been hacked. The NHS has been hacked. There's been some supermarket chains recently been hacked. Jaguar Land Rover was hacked recently. All of this stuff. Do you honestly trust the government's internet and computer system with all of this stuff? I mean, in one neat place.
You've got to now prove your identity to use the Companies House website. Well, I tried 5 times yesterday and it crashed every time. I mean, nothing works in IT.
And who in the audience wants more government in your life? No.
Some bloke on the phrase, a good job he didn't have a microphone there, what he just said. Yeah, it's a resounding no on the front row there. Look,